today, I want to tell you 5 stories from my life. They may sound ordinary, they may even sound random, but together, they shaped everything I became. The first story is about dots you don't understand while you're living them. My life began as an accident on paper. My biological mother was young, ambitious, and terrified. She believed a child would destroy the future she was trying to build. So she made a decision that broke her heart and saved mine. She gave me away. She wanted me adopted by educated people. People with degrees. People with certainty. But life doesn't always follow the plan. The couple who adopted me didn't have fancy diplomas. They didn't have status. What they had was belief. They believed effort mattered more than pedigree. They believed character mattered more than titles. Years later, I entered college. I chose a place that was expensive, prestigious, and impressive at least on paper. My parents were spending everything they had saved, and after a few months, a painful truth hit me. I didn't know why I was there. I wasn't curious. I wasn't inspired. I was just following a script written by fear. So I quit. Dropping out wasn't heroic. It was humiliating. I slept on friends' floors. I skipped meals. I collected empty bottles for money. Once a week, I walked miles just to eat one proper meal. But something strange happened. Without pressure, curiosity returned. I attended classes I wasn't supposed to take: design, history, handwriting patterns. One class taught me how letters breathe, how spacing creates emotion, how beauty speaks without words. At the time, it meant nothing. Years later, it meant everything. When I helped design my first product, those lessons shaped how humans interacted with machines. What once felt useless became essential. That's when I learned something powerful. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. So you must trust that today's confusion will someday make sense. My second story is about Lavande losing it. I was young when I discovered what excited me. Not money, not fame, creation. With a few friends and borrowed equipment, I built something in a tiny room that smelled like dust and hope. We worked nights. We argued. We failed repeatedly. Then, suddenly, it worked. What started small became a company. What started as passion became pressure. Investors arrived. Meetings multiplied. Creativity slowly drowned in structure. At 30, I had everything people chase, and then I lost it. The company I helped create decided I was no longer needed. A decision was made in a room I wasn't invited into. Being removed from your own dream hurts in ways language can't explain. For months, I felt empty, ashamed, directionless. But beneath the pain, one thing survived. I still loved the work. So I started again, without reputation, without guarantees, just curiosity. That second beginning gave birth to ideas I never would have explored otherwise. I created freely. I failed freely. I learned deeply. Years later, the world called that phase my comeback. I call it my rebirth. Sometimes, losing what defines you is the only way to find who you truly are. Failure doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives quietly, disguised as doubt. During my lowest period, people questioned me openly. Some avoided me. Others whispered that I had peaked too early. But failure taught me something success never did. Success tells you what worked. Failure tells you who you are. I stopped chasing applause. I stopped building for validation. I started building for meaning. Ironically, that's when my work became stronger. The lesson was simple but brutal. If you love what you do, failure won't stop you. If you don't, success won't save you. My fourth story is about time. At a young age, I faced a serious health scare. Suddenly, life stopped being theoretical. Mortality became personal. Every morning, after that, I asked myself one question: if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do? When the answer was no for too long, I changed something. Remembering death doesn't make life darker. It makes it clearer. Fear fades. Ego shrinks. Noise disappears. You realize you don't have time to live someone else's dream. Here's the final lesson. Your time is limited. Don't waste it trying to be acceptable. Don't live by borrowed opinions. Don't mute your inner voice. Your intuition knows things your logic can't explain yet. Trust it. Stay curious enough to begin again. Stay brave enough to walk alone. Stay foolish enough to believe your strange ideas matter. One day, you'll look back and The dots will connect. People love the highlight reel. They love the rise, the applause, the moment when everything finally makes sense. What they don't talk about are the quiet years, the years when nothing is happening, the years when effort produces no reward, the years when you're working harder than ever, but the world has forgotten your name. After my second beginning, there were years like that. No headlines, no celebrations, just long nights, half-finished ideas, and the constant question, is this still worth it? I watched others move ahead faster. Some took shortcuts. Some followed trends. Some played safe. I didn't judge them, but I couldn't follow them, because deep down, I knew something most people ignore. Speed feels good, but direction matters more. Those years taught me patience. They taught me to build foundations instead of chasing noise. I learned to listen more than I spoke. I learned that real progress often looks like standing still. Every skill I sharpened in silence later became a weapon in daylight. If you're in that phase right now, where no one is clapping, don't panic. The roots grow in darkness before the tree breaks the ground. Every skill I sharpened in silence later became a weapon in daylight. If you're in that phase right now, where no one is clapping, don't panic. The roots grow in darkness before the tree breaks the ground. When success finally came again, it didn't feel explosive. There were no fireworks, no sudden happiness. It felt calm, because by then, I wasn't chasing it anymore. That's the lie nobody tells you. Success doesn't fix your life, it reveals it. If you're empty, success makes it louder. If you're grounded, success becomes a tool, not a crutch. By the time the world noticed my work again, I had already made peace with failure. That's why success didn't own me. I owned it. The most dangerous moment in life isn't failure. It's comfort. Comfort makes you repeat yesterday. Comfort makes you defend habits instead of questioning them. Comfort slowly convinces you that growth is optional. I promised myself one thing. The day I stop learning is the day I start declining. Beginner's mind is a superpower. The moment you think you know everything, you stop seeing anything. So I kept asking stupid questions. I kept surrounding myself with people who challenged me. I kept breaking things just to understand how they worked. Progress demands humility. As the years passed, achievements piled up. But when I looked back, the moments that mattered weren't the awards or numbers. They were the nights spent building something no one believed in. The people who stayed when leaving was easier. The risks taken without guarantees. The courage to start again after losing everything. Your life won't be measured by how impressive it looked. It will be measured by how honestly you lived it.